Here's Bill Burr yesterday explaining that he is perfectly fine with CEOs having to live with full-time security because they fear they might be shot because, after all, they're murderers too.
Oh, my God. Oh, the poor CEOs. Oh, the poor CEOs. Good luck, Ben. Good luck on this endeavor. I'm sure you're gonna fucking really get your audience riled up. The poor CEOs, they're scared for their life. They should be able to kill people. I don't understand. What do the comments look like? No, they're fucking shitting on him. I feel like I'm being gaslit. He's suggesting that the CEO of the biggest healthcare insurance company in the U.S. has zero effect on anything around him. Invite Bill on your show, I dare you. It's absolutely rich when Ben says things like, just because you had a bad experience with a health insurance company, having a bad experience with a health insurance company isn't like a barista messing up your morning coffee and you hope to get a better one tomorrow. These bad experiences result in people losing their loved ones and being denied or prolonged life-saving medication and procedures. Hey, Ben, how are you going to get legislation changed when the very people who are responsible for changing legislation are being bought and paid for by pharma and insurance companies? This is a rich guy trying to say insurance companies are justified charging you thousands of dollars for a hospital visit. I agree with Bill Burr. As a former cancer patient, each chemotherapy session infusion bag I remember was $20,000 billed to insurance. Coverage for my husband's asthma inhaler was denied this month and for the first time ever. He's had the same script for 25 plus years. Too many ads. I don't even like watching Ben anymore. It's hard to keep track of the stories when he's dropping ads right in the middle of each story. How about putting the ads in between the stories instead? If our healthcare system works so well, why do so many people hate it? Love how you didn't show the full quote. The media is completely out of touch and is an insult to the American people and their lived experiences. Ben, the average working person has little to no voice in these systems. It is obvious. Dude, imagine how fucking right-wing normally YouTube comments are. And I'm willing to bet that a big chunk, I mean, these guys aren't fucking socialists going into the comments of Ben Shapiro to literally turn around and be like, oh, I'm actually a right-winger. Like, they're not lying. These are right-wingers. These are not just right-wingers. They're like annoying right-wingers. They're the type of right-wingers that go in and get their notes from fucking Ben Shapiro. It's a real unique kind of right-winger. We have a hype train going, by the way. Speaking of ads and how annoying they are. Remember, I no longer serve ads, but you can still support the show by subscribing for $7 now, I think. Or for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. You get one free Prime subscription a month. Also, Bill Burr's been talking about executing CEOs and hunting them down for years. Here it is.
They focus on. You know what I mean? There's a guy from Nestle that doesn't think water is a human right. I mean, that guy should be hunted down and shot. Yeah. Right? And they're going to sit and just talk about, talking about all the, I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, we got to get America back to work.
It's like, dude, this guy wants to own the rain. Can we do something about this guy? He was at Nestle. You're supposed to be happy, like making cocoa for people. And this guy's like going, well, people are running out of water. What if we owned all the water and we kept it under our place? And in the future, when everybody's, that's how you picture the guy talking. I want to own the water. I want to have it underneath my house. And just, I'll come to the door in a robe, slightly ajar. Right? Just a complete animal.
Just a complete animal. Yeah, Mr. Woke, dude. Yeah, it's Bill Burr that's woke. It's not Ben that's quote unquote woke in this situation, wokely scolding people for feeling some type of way about the way the current insurance structure is so damaging to the average person's life.
I don't believe that Bill Burr holds the same standard for comedians. There's an argument that's been made by the left. It is a crap argument when made about comedians, and it's a crap argument when made about CEOs. The argument goes something like this on the left. People like Bill Burr mock the vulnerable. They mock the marginalized. And thus,
I shit on those people all the time. Whenever people come for Bill Burr, I tell them to shut the fuck up. This is part of the reason why. Because once again, 1, he's a comedian. 2, he is a fucking asshole. 3, you don't have to agree with everything he says. But most people don't actually get up in their feelings about Bill Burr, which is ironic because you're getting in your feelings about Bill Burr right now. You're woke. You're a fucking SJW, Ben. Radlibs get mad about Bill Burr. Who gives a fuck? Fuck them. It's just noise.
thus they are a danger to the vulnerable and the marginalized. So presumably,
yeah, he's literally mad that Bill Burr isn't pro-Israel. Like, that's the most SJW branded shit you could do, dumbass. I can't believe it. Bill Burr wants Hamas students to kill me. Bill Burr is in support of student protesters that said what Israel is doing is wrong. How could you hurt Israel's feelings? Bill Burr, how could you hurt the CEO's feelings? What a bitch. Yeah. When you're a right winger, it's awesome because you literally, your priorities are completely busted. It's just out of whack. Where you're like, no, it's not the underserved poor, okay, yearning for freedom. It's not those who are getting bombed into fucking bits by America's greatest ally, Israel, that are actually those who are marginalized. It's the fucking CEOs, and it's actually the fascist state of Israel. Those are the poor people that must be defended at all costs. It's the wealthiest people in society that we must protect. Fuck!
Bill Burr should have to live in fear of making a joke. Bill Burr should have to live in fear because he doesn't know who he's damaging. In any case, here is Bill Burr openly cheering the murder.
It took him 14 minutes to get to this fucking Bill Burr clip, by the way.
Of a United Health executive because he says CEOs should live in fear if they don't act in the way that he would have them act in a system that he has no fixes for, by the way.
You know, I think you don't like his fixes.
What's annoying me about this kid who killed this CEO is none of these news programs are talking about the incredible lack of empathy from the general public about this because of how these insurance companies treat people when they are at their most vulnerable after we've all given them our money every month and now we finally need you and all you do is deny us. And then all of these things are taking the pictures of their CEOs off their websites. You know, I got to be honest with you, okay? I love that CEOs are afraid right now. You should be. By and large, you're all a bunch of selfish, greedy pieces of shit. And a lot of you are mass murderers. You just don't pull the trigger. That's why it looks clean. That's why these people look, oh my God, oh, he was just, walking into a hotel. It's like, okay, but what was his job? What did he do? What was the results of it?
Okay, Bill Burr is a piece of... Okay, well, what he is saying here is truly evil. He's truly evil. He's saying you should live in fear if you're the CEO of a company and that company does things that...
Dude, imagine posting this and then thinking this makes Bill Burr look bad and not you for criticizing this in the most annoying ways possible. Oh my God, I can't believe this very popular, beloved comedian is saying what, the overwhelming majority of American society believe. How dare he? These guys are so primed to hate CNN, so at least you should take your cues from fucking CNN. When you notice yourself making an argument that is identical to CNN, maybe you'll realize that you're out of touch. This is not any different than what CNN is saying, Ben. This isn't any different than what fucking New York Times is saying. Same shit when it comes to Israel too, by the way. Just remember, these guys, they're not so different.
Bill Burr deems to be bad things. Now, we have laws on the books, for example, that prevent things like fraud. Okay, we have laws on the books that prevent things like embezzlement. We have laws on...
Yeah, and they do a fantastic job. Oh, wait, no, they don't, because the structure is designed by rich people. The very fact that healthcare is for profit is already ridiculous to begin with. It is indicative that the system is a failure overall.
On the books that punish criminal activity. If you don't like the system, and many people don't, the proper response to that system would be legislation. In a democratic republic, the way that you fix problems is you have open discussions of the details of those problems, and then you try to craft regulatory or legal fixes. You do not...
Which I will stop every step of the way. If you ever suggest that something should change, I will tell you, you're wrong.
Not say that it is a good thing that CEOs should live in fear of their...
Yeah, everyone complaining about the shooting is top 3% of wealth in America. Straight up. Or a loyal servant of the interests of the top 1%.
Their lives because Bill Burr deems them morally inferior. Bill Burr doing his blue-collar class routine act is a bunch of horse. Bill Burr is worth $14 million, and he makes his money making crap movies for Netflix at this point.
You're richer than Bill Burr. Yeah. He's a rich guy who gets it. You're an even richer guy who doesn't. What's the argument? This is so funny whenever people are like, wow, the kid was from a rich family. Luigi was from a rich family. Isn't that crazy? It's like, okay, motherfucker, how rich are you? Like, what are we doing? What is this pocket watching? Like, this is something that I will never understand. Like, What is the expectation here? That he should shut the fuck up and defend the CEOs instead? Is that what it is? Is that what the argument is? I love it because, you know, for obvious reasons, I have a very deep and personal connection to this line of criticism because it's probably the one that I get every single fucking day. It's like, oh, you're rich. Why do you advocate for the poor? It's like, okay, I'm not black, but I advocate against anti-black racism. I'm not trans. I advocate against transphobia. I'm not a woman. I advocate against patriarchal constructs that harm women. I'm not getting an abortion anytime fucking soon, but I think women should have bodily autonomy. The fuck is this? Yeah. What is the, why do you bring this up? Why do you bring this up? Is it the expectation? Is it your expectation that I fucking stay in line? Is it your expectation that Bill Burr know his place and defend the interests of the wealthy then? It's so stupid. It's just a thing that literally hangs right there. There's no purpose for this statement. None whatsoever. It only makes sense. It only makes sense if you're wealthy and you're advocating for the interests of wealthy. In that sense, it does make sense. Okay? In that avenue, it makes sense. Like Ben Shapiro, who is even wealthier than both myself and Bill Burr combined times 10. And of course, as a very rich guy, he's advocating for the interests of the wealthy. As a CEO, he's advocating for other CEOs. But it doesn't make sense to bring this up about Bill Burr unless you're trying to say you're out of touch with the interests of the average person.
Again, this basic idea, if we're going to have a functioning country, you can't justify the murder of people who run their businesses legally in ways with which you disagree. It is one thing to disagree with them. You can call them whatever you want. When you start justifying them living in fear or suggesting maybe they should be murdered, I'm just wondering what the limiting principle here is. I'm wondering what it is. The alleged shooter in this case was echoing Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. The Unabomber suggested that if you were, for example, an oil executive, maybe you should be murdered. Because after all, there were externalities to the oil industry. Why not the banking industry? Why not? Maybe Bill Burr doesn't like the banks after all.
Ben, if I were you, I wouldn't be making this argument, big dog. I'm just being real. I'm keeping it $1.50 because shit like this is not going to be read in the way that you want it to, you know? When you say stuff like that, not recognizing that the appetite that broader American society at this point has, because they're just holding on by a fucking thread, you know? Especially when previous members of your community have gone out and done hate crimes and shit. So there's at least a couple incidents that have already occurred. You've already agitated enough mass shootings. You don't want to say stuff like, you should probably be a little bit more careful and considerate about the way you talk about these things. I myself am going to go out on a limb here. Now I'm going to say I do not condone what Ben Shapiro is saying. I condemn it.
That bank denied grandma her loan. So maybe Jamie Dimon should be tracked down and murdered. This kind of stuff is full stop evil. It is evil. I don't care what complaints you have with the health insurance company. The notion.
I can't believe Ben really just, wait, I got to run it back. Well, that was crazy.
You can't justify the murder of people who run their businesses legally in waving in fear or suggesting maybe they should be murdered. I'm just wondering what the limiting principle here is. I'm wondering what it is. The alleged shooter in this case was echoing Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. The Unabomber suggested that if you were, for example, an oil executive, maybe you should be murdered. Because after all, there were externalities to the oil industry. Why not the banking industry? Why not? Maybe Bill Burr doesn't like the banks after all. That bank denied grandma her loan. So maybe Jamie Dimon should be tracked down and murdered. This kind of stuff.
No, Ben, stop! Ben! Stop! That's crazy, man.
Of all violence. Unfortunately, it's not just Bill Burr. It is so many members of the elite of our society. The people who are fine living with private security.
Bro, you're elite. You're elite. Shut the fuck
they
up.
make millions of dollars saying things on TV. It's not just Bill Burr here. Okay, it is also Jimmy Kimmel. So Jimmy Kimmel last night decided that he would do an entire segment celebrating the good looks of
Oh, it's so fucking lame. This is exactly the type of shit that these guys normally grab onto and rail against all the time. All the goddamn time, dude. Bro, just I should go and murder the bank who made my grandma homeless. Who's this left-wing extremist you're watching? I need you guys to understand, I'm watching this specifically because I'm condemning it. I am not condoning Ben Shapiro's statements about how Jamie Dimon deserves to be hunted down and murdered, okay? I am condemning it. Condemn. Okay? I do not condone. This man is a left-wing loony. Cenk would call him the extreme left or max left or something along those lines. Okay? Shame on you, Ben. I disavow. I disagree. It's really fucked up that he came out with this, especially at such a politically divisive time, you know? Really fucked up. Also, here's right-wingers. Here's right-wingers celebrating vigilante justice when it's their guy doing it.
Loud for Kyle Rittenhouse.
Murder, assassination, vigilantism, it's wrong, it's